Hi stylists, I'm Lisa Enos and it's Updo Monday. Okay, so what we're gonna do today is we're just gonna do this really pretty high textured kind of bun. But what we're gonna do, I've showed in a previous video how to do a flat rose, but we're gonna do a more of a 3D kind of rose and just build this really top high bun with this. So I want to show you what I've done. All I've done is bring this into a high ponytail right at the crown. Okay, I've left a little moon shape section right off the front because I want to incorporate this later, but I want to see what I want to do with that. That will just give me a little extra to work with in my design. Okay, so this doll has really thick hair, so I was able to get a lot of braids. And so all I did was probably about 5 or 6 braids, and I pancaked out one edge, okay? So you want to do that with all your braiding. Just pancake out big one edge because that's going to be the outside of your petal. So then what you want to do is you want to take a pen, but this is where I see how I want this to lay. So I figure out where do I want this first panel or this first rose. So I figure if I go this way and turn it, do I want a big rose up front there? If I turn it going under, do I want a big rose coming off to this side? And I think I like that better. So kind of figure out which way you're going to go with that before you pin, because you want to put a pin right on the end, and whichever way that I end up rolling this, I want to be able to tuck that pin in and just pin it to the base. So I've got this pin on the end here, and all I'm going to do flat, if we were doing it flat the other way, we just go flat this way. But since we want more of a 3D effect, we're going to roll it on top of itself. So I'm going to take this pin and I'm just going to start to roll this, and this tail is going to be on the inside of that flower. So I'm just rolling it, rolling it, rolling it, and see how I get this really pretty rosette, but it's more of a 3D effect. Okay, so now I'm going to take that pin that's right in the middle, I'm just going to grab that, and I'm going to just pin that right to the base. So that's just going to hold our petal, our rose, into place. Now I can go through here and start to really kind of fan this out just a little bit more. Okay, I want to really get that bigger. And I want to really incorporate all of those petals in there. Now if I've got this little tail sticking out, I'm just going to put a pin on the end, wrap it around, stick that to the base. And so you're just going to work this kind of 3D rose effect. All right, so I'm going to come in here. I'm going to just start to spray this a little as I'm working with it. And this, I can really play with these petals here. Okay, so that's my first one. And then I'm going to go back in when I fill everything and really detail these a little bit more. But that's my first petal right off the front here. This is sticking a little bit out for me. I'm going to pin it down just a little bit closer to the base right there. All right, isn't that pretty? You get a really pretty 3D effect on there. Okay, so then I'm just going to work my way around the head. Okay, but I still want to see, I look at this first to see how I want this to wrap. You know, how I want this to lay on the head. So if I go this way, will that give me enough? Or do I want to come around this way? But I think I want to fill in this way. Starting that way. Okay, so you really want to do that before you put your pin in, because then if you've rolled it and then it's not working, then you have to redo it. So I want to roll it this way. So I've got my pin on the end here, and I'm just going to hold that and take the tail in the inside, and then I'm just going to roll it. It's going to give me this really pretty, like, rosette look. Okay, now I'm just going to stick that pin right into the base, and then I'm just going to work this rosette here. I'm just going to pull these petals a little bit more to kind of fan that out just a little bit. But see, you get this really pretty shape. Just like that, okay? So let's just work ourselves all the way around. So I'm going to come in here, I'm just going to fill in, and always look for balance and when you're in your mirror. So always look for balance through here. Now I know I want to put one right on top here, so I'm going to leave this very top one to fill in this top bun part. Okay, so I'm just checking first visually to see how I want my rosette to lay. I'm going to put a pin right on the end. That I've banded all of those. I put one pin right on the end. I'm going to tuck that tail in the center. And we're just going to hold, and we're just going to do a roll. We're just going to keep rolling. Just like this. And then I'm going to take that pin and I'm going to pin it to the base. See, and I'm getting this really pretty flower or rose all the way around. And then I can come in and just play with these petals a little bit to see how they're laying. I'm going to use my spray a little bit there. But I love the effect you get. Just like everywhere you look around, there's like a rose sitting there. Okay, so this is the top one we've got going on. I'm going to go ahead and do that one. I really want it to lay probably up this way. I'm going to check different ways to see how it will lay if I go a different way. If I come in this way, which I do like that, so I'm going to come in that way. Okay, so I'm going to put a pin right on the end of this. And since I'm rolling this way, my pin goes in there, so I can just stick the pin into the base. Okay, take the tail, I'm going to put it on the inside, or you can wrap it around. And then you're just going to take and use that bobby pin and just roll it up. Okay, and causing this pretty just rosette, just like that. All right, now I got to find a place where I can really pin this down. I'm going to pin it right to the base right there. Now I'm going to come in here, play with this a little bit, pin it down if I think something is up too high or sticking out. And then I've got this really pretty rose right here in the center. But I've got to look at it from the top too, and if that's giving me enough height, then I like it. It is. So I'm just going to play with this just a tiny bit. Pulling my petals, just manipulating my petals around so that it gives me the fullness that I want. And so I'm going to come in and I come up underneath. You know, I don't like to see pins in a hairdo if you know me. So I'm going to come up underneath, grab some hair, and then pin it and lock it down into place. Okay. So I've got that top one, and it's just looking really pretty right here. So we're going to fill in this bottom part. Now I'm going to see, and I'll probably wrap this around because I want that to fill in big like that. So just double check before you pin it into place. Okay, double check on how you want this rosette to lay. Got a pin on the end, grab, tuck those ends to the inside. Just wrap that on top of itself. This is like more of a 3D kind of rosette or flower than the flat rose that you can get. And I've done that in a previous video. Okay, so then we're just gonna fan that out. But see what a pretty just texture that we're getting. And I just love it because you're just looking at it all different ways and you've got roses just going different ways. And we're just gonna play with these petals just like that. All right, so we've got this one here. I'm just gonna play with this a little. Okay, we've got this last one here. So I'm gonna go this way. Let me see if I go this way, if that will give me, that will fill in really, really nice. Okay, so I'm gonna go actually this way. So that's what I mean. You gotta check and you gotta see where you can place that. So I'm tucking my tail to the inside. I'm rolling this up just on top of itself. And then I find a place for this to pin into. Okay. Sometimes you just need to get more pins to really secure that. And then I've got that pretty rose going on. All right. Now, before I actually go in and start to detail this, I've got this one section left right here. So this is when I can say, how do I want this to lay? Do I want a flat bang coming around there? Which I like that, that's pretty. But actually I like when there's a little more volume coming up. So I'm gonna come up and just tuck that fringe right underneath this rose. And I'm gonna pin it into place. Just like that. I'm gonna smooth any bumps I have out. I'm gonna just clean that up. Get all these little flyaways. Make this really clean. Okay, now this gives me an area where I can just kind of pin it and make this part look like it's a petal, okay? So if I want to fill in a little bit of this area, I can. I'm just going to put a pin just about 2 inches from there, right? I'm just going to tuck it over and just place that. And then now I've got this one, I'm actually going to bring it back over this way. So see how easy this could be? Just playing with just this texture. So we're going to pin it right on the end right here. Okay, we're going to flip it and just pin that into place. And now we're going to start looking for balance. Okay, so I think I need just a little bit more height right in this area. And I like the way that looks. It's so pretty. Okay, so then I'm going to go in and I'm going to make sure that everything is secure. I'm going to ask my client, does that feel secure? You know, you always want to have them like shake their head just a little bit to see if anything feels too loose. So if they're dancing the night away, you can be pretty sure that this will really stay for them. Okay, so we're going to go. Now I'm going to go and I'm just going to detail this. So this is your best friend when you're doing up styling. You really need a foil comb or a rat tail comb. I like the foil comb because it's just so much thinner. But I'm going to come in here and all those little flyaways, I'm going to tuck them. I'm going to find a place for them to live, so that I don't have all of these little ends flying around. People always ask me, how do you get hair smooth? You have to work with it smooth. Before I did my braiding, I really flat ironed all of those pieces before I braided to try to get them as smooth as possible. So I'm just going to come in here, I'm just going to spray, and I'm going to just tuck those pieces into place. I'm going to look for balance and making sure that everything is nice and secure. Okay, just like that. See how pretty that is? Okay, now I love the bling, so I'm going to come in with some really pretty bling right in the middle of these roses. Okay, so we're going to come through here, and just in the middle of these roses, I'm going to put some really pretty bling through here. Just like that. Find one right here. Now never force anything in. If it's not working, take it out, reposition it. Okay, that's with anything. When you're penning hair or doing anything like that, reposition something. It doesn't want to go, and you don't want to like hurt your client. So if you don't force it in, if it's not going, just reposition it, okay? Now we've got one more up in this area that we're gonna do. I'm just gonna spread that out just a little. You see, then you've got this beautiful, just like 3D rosettes, just going all the way around this style, and it's so pretty. Be beautiful. You put a little tiara right here, but that's the way. So easy, guys. Braid, pancake one side out, roll it up into like a 3D flower. Okay, but so easy to do. Just a big high ponytail right up on the crown. But imagine that you could do this on a ponytail down here, or right in the middle of a bun in the back. So I want you to think about, when you're doing stuff like this, is that you can do it anywhere on the head. You know, you just use your imagination. Okay guys, thanks for watching, and happy styling. I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching.